Welcome to Horizons of Thought. In a couple of days, the United States is going to be having its 2020 federal election for the president and senators and congresspeople. Go out and vote. Vote for the person you support. Vote against the person you don't support. If you can't support any of them, go out and spoil the ballot, but go out there and do something in the vote. But I strongly encourage you to value and continue to support your democracy. There are so many things that I have seen in the last 6 years in particular that are incredibly anti-democratic. Let's start with the first. Calling people you disagree with evil. Just because you disagree with them is not good. You have no idea if a Biden or a Trump voter is evil based on the vote alone. You actually need to see how well that person treats others first. Do they yell abusively at wait and grocery staff? Do they treat their children or spouse badly? Are they needlessly cruel to employees? Then by all means, call them evil. But until you've seen that, you just don't know because you don't understand what motivates them. Second thing, do not let your tech companies or your churches dictate what material you read on political issues. You might trust Google, you might trust your church, but if they're stopping you from learning a point of view that isn't theirs, they're controlling you. Seriously, when a church tells you Obama is a Muslim and not to be trusted, or a tech company tells you a Babylon Bee satire piece needs to be blocked because it makes people feel unsafe, well, even if you agree with the person, you might think that it would be a good idea to feel unsafe yourself because you don't know when that censorship is going to be turned against you. Conversely, you might read some incendiary comment about Trump or Biden and believe it because, well, you've seen the person do dumb things before. But do yourself a favor and check to see if it's true first, or even plausible. There's an awful lot of sharing of disinformation out there, and a tiny bit of effort on your part will stop you from destroying democracy by obscuring the search for truth. Don't bully new people you meet. All your university classmates might think one way, but if you and the prof gang up on new students who don't think the way you do, they'll remember your cruelty. I'm talking to you, anthropology class of 96. Similarly, your church friends and the preacher might think one way, but if you gang up on a visitor who doesn't agree, how is that going to foster a good relationship or even their return? Screaming at the top of your lungs might feel good when you're angry, but remember that every person you randomly yell at is a person who now feels unsafe and will lie to you about their opinions. This has happened in America so much that there is a real chance you can't trust any of your political polls anymore, because for many people, the only place that they can act safely is during the actual secret ballot. Protests are all good and fine. In fact, you should definitely protest things that bother you. But when you let your protests turn into opportunities to run over other people with your car, as in Charlottesville, or burn down local businesses, as in Pick Your American City, how is that fostering democracy? And don't imagine that the business owner is going to like you or your cause anymore, even if you think they should because they look like you. Not going to happen. You burnt their business down. And when you go to vote, hating your opponent for all the evil things he or she has done is all well and good, but don't pretend that the person you're voting for is great. America doesn't have Fred Rogers on the ballot for president, so you don't have any actual saints to choose from this year. This election is likely going to be very close, and so half of you are going to be very upset with the outcome. You can decide to burn cities, start a civil war, or storm the local nuclear weapons depot and fling nukes at your enemies using slingshots. But like the proverbial Albonians of Scott Adams' Dilbert cartoon, the only one who will think that will do is the Dogbert type who just wants to bask in your glow. Instead, maybe decide to demand that your press is more transparent and less biased. Maybe decide to meet someone you disagree with and dialogue with them, recognizing You've probably been so abusive to them for so long that it will take a couple of years for them not to return abuse for abuse. Maybe you can exercise the enormous political power everyone in America actually has by going up and setting up food banks, economic training, medical care, or life skill training in your neighborhood. The need is great, and the effects will be many multiples of your vote or your keyboard mashing. I did when I lived in the States. It only took a year of teaching and a couple more years of dull steering committee meetings with a few amazing friends in Boston to help set up financial education for thousands of people. Your political power in the States is incredible because you're a nation that's filled with wonderful self-organization. Use it and use it well. You can make a difference by ending your own abusive and cruel yelling and shaming of others, through listening to people you think are enemies and building your relationships and building up the people around you. You will be amazed at how much better you make the world if you do this. This has been Horizons of Thought. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, click like. If you didn't, click dislike. In any case, please put a comment below. If you wish to subscribe, hit the subscribe button. If you wish to support the channel, go down to the donor box, click on the link, and you can support the channel through subscription there. I hope to see you again in a few days or a couple of weeks. Have a good day.